In the very beginning in '78, was you guys flagging the red color, or did that come in a little bit later?
No, we were. Yes.
It was already red.
It was already red. How? What color?
Because of the school, Banning.
Banning High School, red, black.
Okay. And what was going on in the projects back then?
Oh man,
Everything.
Shit, man.
Poverty, crime, violence.
Murders.
You know what I mean? The whole thing.
Yeah.
Just like any other project area.
However you see fit.
Police
They
getting
have
busted
from
on.
growing corn all the way up to
The candy lady, tattoo man.
everything.
Shit, everything in the projects.
If you didn't feel like going to a restaurant, knock on somebody's door. They gonna say,
Yeah.
give you a plate out the door.
You can always sleep at someone's house. Couch was always open. Everything.
What were some of the Pirus sets that y'all was functioning in the early years with?
Cabbage Patch, Scottsdale, even Sky
Centerview.
Park, Centerviews, Callis Parks, Chronicles,
It was just, you know,
shit,
at that
Ghost
point in
Towns.
time, it was
No, the
just,
Chronicles are spin off of Water Front.
They like to spin off us. Yeah, they Samoans, but they
at
click
that
off
point in
us.
time, it was like everybody was getting to know each other. You know
Right.
what I mean, it really wasn't that much funk.
It was
inside
definitely
the-
no
you know what
Don
I'm
Move
saying?
funk,
You know,
yeah.
so everybody was getting to know each other. Everybody was forming and, you know what I'm saying, getting solid in their numbers. So it was all love,
Right.
you know.
All right, let's talk about the relationship with the Mexicans.
Okay, I can't wait.
We'll start with Big KY. What was it like in the '70s with the Mexicans down here?
Unity. Like I said, this is a melting pot community. So we all grew up with each other, next door to each other, hanging out with each other, spending the night at each other's house. You know what I'm saying? Dating and falling in love with sisters and all that sort of thing,
Man.
having kids, everything. You know what I mean?
Was it prohibited?
Was it prohibited? We didn't care about no man, shit.
You see Mexicans and blacks all day together in
Yeah.
Wilmington when I was out
Shit.
growing up out here.
It might
Everybody,
as well have been a
girlfriend
rule.
was Hispanic.
It might as well have been a rule.
Right.
Yeah.
The Mexican dudes had Jerry curls, you know what I mean, and everything.
When does the relations with the Mexicans start to change?
95.
Early
No, 95.
Earlier
No,
than that.
We talking about the beef.
No.
No.
Yeah.
When it turned, I got shot
It
first.
was earlier than that, though.
It'll start going before that, you
Yeah,
think?
it was earlier than that.
94.
Yeah, it was
I think about 94, 95.
It was
I was
earlier
coming.
than that. It was
Yeah.
earlier than
You think it
that.
was 91?
Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
earlier than that.
It was early 90s. It was early 90s.
Okay.
Early 90s.
So the '80s was definitely a cool period with the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think was the cause of the change?
Crystal.
Drugs, hell
Drugs,
yeah.
money.
Power now.
You know what I mean?
So nothing specific.
Drugs and money.
But drugs and money always exist.
I think me in my generation, I don't know what they in my generation, I got shot for behind this shit when it first kicked off first. So I think in my generation, when I came home from YA, it was different.
It was violent.
It was violent, so it was different when I came home from YA. Before I went to YA, it wasn't nothing like that. But when I came home from YA, it was up. And then we had like the last few of our Mexican homies that was from Water Front. There was only a few left starting to change. You know what I mean? They started hanging with the weed mob, started doing crystal, and you know what I mean? And then the politics started kicking in during that East Coast Florencia stuff. When whatever that was going on, then they said put a hit on all the little black gangs. The weed mobs took part of that, and they started crossing out the hood on the wall.
Okay, so how many how many Mexicans would you say was part of the set throughout the late '70s, early '80s?
In 90s, you got to put 90s in there too.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
About-
we're starting with his generation.
Ooh.
Shit, I
man,
can
you
name
gotta
a
also
gang
put
of
in-
them.
You got to also put in biracials.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
All
man.
of them.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them.
But
All of
if
them.
you was to put a percentage on the set and when you was coming up,
Half of them.
I'd say about 25.
25%.
Saying,
Yeah.
Because then you got to throw in the
The
Samoans.
Samoans, yeah, we got hella Samoan homies from the hood.
So, yeah.
okay, and then once you get to the '90s, the Mexicans start to drop off.
About 95, they was all the way drastically over with.
Drastic change.
Hey.
Drastic change right then.
How many Mexicans got Waterfront Pirus tattoos?
All of
How
them.
many of them got them covered up?
Yeah, all of them.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
How many of them?
I don't know how they get it covered up, how big they had it. I know some that had Pyru blasted all over their stomach.
So now we're going into the activity mode.
Yeah.
And so this is where the question come in at. You know, it ain't about who got waterfront on them or who don't, or who got it covered up. You know what I mean? It's about, you know what I'm saying, is all the motherfuckers that turn from waterfront is dead.
Yeah, most of that left the hood is dead.
There's got to be a couple of OG Mexicans.
There's a couple
over there.
around.
Yeah.
Most of them dead. Most of them dead though. Or on drugs, you know what I mean? Or committed suicide.
But they, you know what I mean? They might, I mean, it's a few of them.
There's a few still
I would say
around.
like 3. 1.
They ain't doing that.
One.
2. No, it's about 3, 4.
One.
Still alive?
They claimed waterfront.
And
One.
how many blacks were claiming Weemas back in
None.
the day? Back in the day,
Oh.
Craven Street, what's the
handful.
homegirl Bambi, Uncle
A
Butchie?
there had to be some.
Well,
Yeah.
Butch,
It was a
yeah.
handful.
Z-
You know what I mean?
Z-
But like I said, though, it was a melting pot. You know what I mean? There was nobody was tripping off no colors at that point in time.
Look, there was a time I could tell you about. There used to be die cities or harbor cities would come dump on us in the projects, right? And there'll be waterfronts walking up, and then the weed mice will catch them at the end of the block and tear their ass up. That's how close it used to be. It was. You could sell dope with them. You might have 2 road dogs, or you might find a brother from Waterfront and 2 of them from Weemas. You know what I mean? That was kind of common. You know what I mean?
So when was the first rest in peace Waterfront Pirus member killed by a Mexican?
25 years later, his son. Well, how long ago was that? Lil KY died like 3 years ago. Since that war, since it started, so I'm glad you asked that. Since the war started, we've been shot, but none of us died until recently.
All right, who's the first dude shot?
Me,
You're the first one shot?
yeah, right here.
How many times were you shot?
I hit 11,
You got hit 11 times?
yeah.
Damn.
Foot, legs, stomach, chest.
And how close was the shooter?
Right there.
And you got no problem saying that it was a Weemas member?
I mean, he ain't even, one of them not even alive, and one probably got life already.